Hello everyone, so our rounding journey continues and today's learning objective is to round decimals. So a quick reminder about the rule for rounding that we've been working on all week. You always look to the digit to the right of the one you're supposed to be rounding to. For example, if you wanted to round to the nearest 100, you would look at the tens column, which is what we did yesterday. And also, if the digit is between 0 and 4, you round down. If the digit is between 5 and 9, you round up. 0 to 4, fall to the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. You know this from our working wall we have in the classroom. So let's have an example of rounding decimals. So we're thinking about what is 13.4 rounded to the nearest whole number. In the tenths column, there's a 4, so you have to round it down to 13. Remember, we're having a look at the digit to the right. So here we are, we're rounding to the nearest, so you're going to look at that 4. So you can also use a number line to help you visualize this. So take a look at the number lines. We start with 13. Just a reminder of what a decimal number line looks like. We've counted this in class using our counting stick, but we have 13.1. I'll write this one below. 13.2. 13.3, we've got our 13.4 and our 13.5 marked. 13.5 is the same as 5, is the same as half because it's in the middle. 13.6, 13.7, 13.8, 13.9, and then we have 14, the next whole number. So if we're rounding this number to the nearest whole number, we need to look at the number in this column. If the number in the tenths column is 0 to 4, you round it down. So this would be 13. Let's have a look at another example together. Example 2. So if we were rounding 23.8 to the nearest whole number, you're going to have a look at the digit in the tenths column. You can see that it's 8, so we're going to round that one up. So it would round up to 24. So let's have a look and see what that looks like on a number line. So we've got 23. Let's remind ourselves of what decimal points look like on a number line. So I have 23.1, 23.2, 23.3, 23.4. We've got 23.5, halfway between. 23.6, 23.7, 23.8, and 23.9, and then 24. And we know that that 0.1 means 1/10. We've remembered that from hopefully our fractions, that we know 0.1 is the same as 1/10. And we can see here we've got 23.8, which is the same as 23, and 8/10, which is represented here in the place value grid. So Alfie asks, which of the following numbers will round down to 0 and round up to 1? Explain your reasoning. So I'm going to give you a moment just to have a look and have a go at that one together. Let's have a look. So let's see the ones that would round down to 0, and then we'll see the ones that would round up. So we need to have a look at these digits to help us, and it's exactly the same as when we were doing rounding before. So if we're rounding down, 0.4, 0.7 would round up, 0.2 would round down, 0.9 would round up, 0.5 right in the middle, but we know that if it's 0.5, we're rounding it up, 0.1 would round down, and 0.6 we would round up. And it says here, explain your reasoning, because I know that if it's 1 to 4, you round it down. If it's 5 to 9, you round it up. And I would expect a sentence written to explain your reasoning. Okay, let's have a look at an example question together, and then the next slides have questions on that you can go through yourself independently before we move on and look at money, which is where we all started at the beginning of the week. So the example, mark 4.6 on the number line and then round it to the nearest whole number. So we've got a number line. We know that 4.6 comes somewhere between the whole number 4 and 5. We've got 4.5 marked in the middle because we know that that number comes in the middle, and 4.6 comes just after that. So we know that 4.6 rounded to the nearest number, it's rounded to 5 because we know that 6 means we're rounded up, and you can see from this number line that 4.6 is definitely closer to 5 than it is to 4. So I'd like you to round these numbers to the nearest whole numbers. You can draw a number line to help you if you wish, just like the illustration you've got here. So that's your first job. So you can pause the presentation here and work your way through these questions on a piece of paper. If you write down the number, and then you can write down the decimal and tell me the nearest number that it's rounded to. Let's have a look at the first one together. If you wanted to draw a number line and it's 3.1, you're going to draw your number line. I know that it comes between 3 and 4. I'm going to draw in the middle that 3.5 comes halfway between. 3.1 is going to come here, so I know that 3.1 is rounded down to 3. So have a go through those 14 questions. Feel free to pause the presentation now so you can work through those before we move on. Let's have a think now about rounding money. So rounding a price to the nearest pound is the same as rounding a decimal to the closest whole number. If the price is £2.80, you can round it up to £3 because the digit in the tens position is 8. The closest whole number to 2.8 is 3. If the price is £2 and 8 pence, you can round it down to £2 because the digit in the tens place is 0. And the closest whole number to 2.08 is 2. Don't forget, if the digit you are rounding is 5, you round it up. So £2.50 rounded to the nearest pound is £3. You're looking at the digit in that tenths place. So have a go at rounding these amounts of money to the nearest pound. Let's have a look at the first one together. You can still draw a number line if you think that would be helpful. So we've got £2 and 15 pence. So I could draw my number line, and at this end of my number line, I've got £2. I'm going to write it 00. And at this side, I have got £3. I know slap bang in the middle, I'm going to have £2.50. And then I've got £2.15, which I know belongs about there. So I can see that it's closest to the £2. And I know if I have a look at that tens digit, 1, I am rounding it down. So £2.15 is rounded down to £2. Have a go through those money questions and upload those to Dojo. If you make sure you take a nice close-up picture so I can see. If you've got any questions or any problems, then just let me know. And just a quick heads up, when you're working with these ones, you just need to look again at the digit in the tenths column. I hope it all goes well. Let me know if you've got any problems, and I'll look forward to seeing your work on Dojo.